I would like to explain some basics about the fieldwork using time-lapse cameras in entomology, in particular in studying insect visitation, insect interactions with fungi. To set the time-lapse cameras, one needs to identify a good biotope with enough species, but of course, like with any field-based data collection, it's a bit of a lottery. For instance, this year in 2025 it's very hot. My plan was to do time lapses of the agarics and the insects' life of them, but they were not available. More than 2 weeks of heat wave with little to no rain, and I should switch to polypores, switch to perennial polypores with some sporulation activity to find my insects. You find a biotope with enough deadwood. I'm in eastern Finland. The deadwood volumes here are not that great, but not zero either, so I find at least the common species, and I find polypores at the right life stage, with fruit bodies which are actively sporulating, and different species do it in different parts of the year, so some appear completely free of insects, others are full of life and full of visitors. It's important to prepare. You have to have your cameras ready. You have to know your gear, all the settings for all the different models, have your batteries charged and have some extras, all the memory cards, and it's easy to forget something, and so double check, make a list, things like that. Eventually this footage can become a movie or become a source of the data, and then again in the field time it's easy to forget to record some things, so preparing an empty spreadsheet or empty database or empty paper form is very important with all the parameters you need to capture. This could include the position of the camera, your species, its life stage, time of the day, temperature parameter, biotope, angle of the camera, its direction, things like that. And I think it's very, very good practice to have it done, to have it prepared before you leave your base. Moving around with all this gear has some limitations. Cameras get smaller every year, but still carrying 4 or 5 cameras with all the tripods and all the reflectors, that's a serious load, and you can expand your operations by using a car, which is also a charger for your batteries, and an office where you can put a laptop and empty the memory cards very quickly, and do it very close to a camera and not driving back and forth. Working with time-lapse cameras forces you to work at a local scale. You have to slow down. If you're in the habit of running around the forests looking for good species like me, you have to change the speed of your work, and this way you will see more. Finding a good fungus and spending longer time with different angles, different settings there is much more productive than running around and change locations a few times a day. I'm doing this not to generate the data or to form some or test some scientific hypothesis. For me, using time lapses in fungivory research is the technology-powered natural history. Is the way to discover things, the way to see things which otherwise escape researchers' attention. And I find this is very important, because then, after the understanding of the study system is built, then you can collect the data and test the hypothesis and do all kind of numeric or mathematical explorations of nature. But that comes later. The first stage is to sit down, slow down, and watch. And you can watch as a human, but you can also watch and record with the time-lapse cameras, because species move at different speeds than we humans, and to understand their special and temporal aspects of their lives, you have to make sure that your attention, your interpretation of observation happens at the same speed or comparable speed, and you can play with time, you can play with speed using time-lapse technology. I find it very powerful. For instance, even before attempting any formal analysis of motion patterns or visitation patterns, I could see zones, different zones on the surface of the polypores, not only inside the polypore, this is what I studied during my PhD project, but also on the polypore. There are certain things happening on the edge of the fruit body, such as hunting. This is zone patrolled by the spiders or other predatory invertebrates. Sporulating hymenophore also have zones. Some areas are very favored by fungivorous insects, others not, and so on and so on. You can see different things happening during the day, during the night, in the rain or in the bright sunlight. There are so many things happening at the same time across many species, and to uncover all that, to figure out what's going on, you need to capture it. You need to be able to come back to exactly same events, which you cannot do with direct observations. Once things happened, if they're not recorded, they're gone. So it's a capture technology, and it's very powerful. It's important when you place your camera to think about how the sun is moving. Put it so that the sun is behind the camera around noon, so basically your camera should be always facing north no matter what you're shooting, especially here in the Nordic countries where days during the summertime are very long and sun changes position very quickly. Many time-lapse cameras have wide-angle lenses, so to get a good macro story, if your camera is able to shoot at the short distances, move as close as you can. Like my working distances is 4, 5, 6 centimeters from the surface I'm video recording. It's very easy to learn, and it's a strong and powerful way to add something to your exploration of nature. It doesn't matter if you do it for scientific purposes or to satisfy your curiosity. I encourage you to try and see what you learn from that, and I'm very grateful for the support which I received from the cost action InsectAI. I would like to thank Tom August, Toke Hoye, Kim Bjerge, and a few people from LUOMUS, Finnish Museum of Natural History, who supported project building around this technology, Pasi Sihonen, Heidi Viljanen, and a few other friends from Finland, Helena Virta, Juha Kinnunen, who are also sharing and my thoughts about this and listening to my planning and so on. And thank you for your attention.